and listen. It helped us get to safety. So when I think of our anniversary, because now we have even more to celebrate.
Hello, this is Gary Wheeseltin of NL Now on Rogers TV, and you can catch me and the gang Sunday nights at 6:30 for stuff like this.
I wish you were home to stay.
In the children's garden, a journey to the other side.
NL Now, right here, only on Rogers TV.
Hi, I'm Lou. Thank you for tuning in to NL Now. Tonight, we've got a full, great lineup of guests, including Colin Harris, Baccalieu, Mayor of Mount Pearl, Dave Aker, plus our host Gary Wheeseltin takes a trip to the town of Dildo. All that and more tonight on NL Now. Now please welcome with our opening theme song, The False Myths.
Hanging out with Gary and his friends. Oh, wow! All the things they see and do on now. This is the place that you want to be. All the people and the things that you're going to see. Come and hang with us, you know that it's okay. Come and celebrate another gorgeous day. NL Now. NL Now. NL Now. NL Now. Yeah!
Okay, welcome back to the show. Well, as I said earlier during our opening monologue thing, Gary's out on a little trip to the town of Dildo today. You'll get to see that later on in the show. So he's left me to do his hosting duties for the first little bit of the show. So let's see if I can do this right. Now, I'm here to introduce our first musical performers. A great three-piece Irish group from the rugged shores of Newfoundland. Please welcome Baccalieu.
In South Australia I was born, heave away, haul away. In South Australia round Cape Horn, we're bound for South Australia. Haul away, rolling king, heave away, haul away. Haul away, hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia. As I walked out one morning fair, heave away, haul away. Was there I met a Miss Nancy Blair, we're bound for South Australia. Haul away, rolling king, heave away, haul away. Haul away, hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia. I shook her up, I shook her down, heave away, haul away. I shook her round and around the town, we're bound for South Australia. Haul away, rolling king, heave away, haul away. Haul away, hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia. And as we wallop around Cape Horn, heave away, haul away. We wish to Christ we'd never been born, we're bound for South Australia. Haul away, rolling king, heave away, haul away. Haul away, hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia. One more! Haul away, rolling king, heave away, haul away. Haul away, hear me sing, we're bound for South Australia.
Hello, and welcome back to NL Now. I'm your host, Gary Wheeseltin. Now, as you can see, for today's show, we are not in our regular Rogers TV studio. We are out here in the field, you could say, for a very special edition of the show here from Dildo. Now, today we're going to tour you around and show all the sights, so let's get started right away. Okay, so why don't you tell our viewers where we are right now?
We are at Dildo Coffee and Craft.
Okay, so what's your name?
Karen McDonald.
Okay, hello Karen. Thank you for letting us have this little chat with you today.
Go ahead.
So in the last couple weeks, you guys have been on TV quite a lot, I guess, right?
Yes, a lot.
Yeah, so why don't you just tell us how you felt about the whole experience overall?
It's very exciting, like to have a beautiful town like this and all the attention now into the town of Dildo. It's good for everybody, good for all the business and everyone.
Yes, so you're not from around here, are you?
No, I'm not.
So when you first moved here, what did you think of it?
I moved here 6 years ago and I find this place, Newfoundland, beautiful, amazing.
Well, thank you for letting us chat with you today.
Thank you.
Oh, Newfoundland, what a place to be, with rolling hills that stretch to the sea. In the middle of the Atlantic, she stands tall and proud, with a spirit that reaches right up to the cloud. Now I long to go back to that island in the sea, my Newfoundland home. Let's go, you and me. Oh, I wish I was back on that Newfoundland shore, where the houses are painted with colors galore, and the people, they greet you with a smile and a hand. To the Newfoundland shore is where we will land. Been traveling around from sea to sea, I've seen so many people you'd never believe. They all know a newbie somewhere in their lives, for a Newfoundland hand stretches far and wide. The music, the laughter, and all the songs. Eyes to buy me friends, let's all sing along. Oh, I wish I was back on that Newfoundland shore, where the houses are painted with colors galore, and the people, they greet you with a smile and a hand. To the Newfoundland shore is where we will land. Atlantic winds are calling me, they're calling my name. We'll sail into St. John's Harbor, never leaving again.
Well, that's all for today out here in Dildo. Right now I'm going to throw things back to Lou, who has a special guest.
Well, it's nice to have things all planned out to prevent any doubt. Take the scenic route and enjoy the ride. But sometimes things just won't make sense. Situations so intense make us wonder if we can survive. With an open mind and a loving heart, we'll find our way together through the dark. Well, it's nice to feel the warm sun rays on those bright summer days. Be thankful just to simply spin a yarn. But sometimes on those cold winter nights, without the comfort of light, we'll burn a fire well into the dawn. With an open mind and a loving heart, we'll find our way together through the dark. Yes, there's no right or wrong to how this should be. What works for some may not for you and me. So let's promise ourselves this, and we'll seal it with a kiss. With an open mind it's nice to see such love in your eyes. Who'd have thought I'd be surprised by just how well we carry on this way. And anytime, well, those eyes filled with tears, or you're swallowed up with fear, take my hand, remember what we say. With an open mind and a loving heart, we'll find our way together through the dark. We'll find our way together through the dark. We'll find our way together through the dark.
Welcome back to the show. I'm here now with the Mayor of Mount Pearl, Dave Aker. How are you doing today?
I'm very good, Gary. Thanks for coming to the City of Mount Pearl.
Oh,
I hope
yes.
you're enjoying my office here
Yes, it's a
at
wonderful
City
office.
Hall. Thank you. Yeah.
Now, first of all, we'd like to ask all of our politician guests this, I guess. Why is the reason you decided to run for council?
Well, I was involved with the community as a volunteer, and I've always done things like when my son was playing hockey and my daughter was playing soccer, I always coached and volunteered to help out. And it seemed that when they got a bit older, it was a natural for me to help out the city in other ways. I ran for council in 2009. And I was elected for 2 terms, a total of 8 years. And in the fall of 2017, I was elected the mayor of Mount Pearl. I'm very proud to be the mayor of the city of Mount Pearl.
Now, your Frosty Festival just wrapped up a few weeks ago. Why don't you tell us how that went?
Well, it was a great celebration of winter here in the city of Mount Pearl. Every event was sold out. The entire festival, the entire festival took about 12 days. And you know, a lot of the people that come to the festival are not just from Mount Pearl. They're from all over the region, and it's the largest festival in Atlantic Canada.
No, that's great. If you could describe Mount Pearl in 3 words, what would they be?
Live, work, play. Those would be the 3 words. It's a great city to live in. We're very family oriented. It's a great place as well to work. We have a large business community, and many of our residents also work in our sister towns and cities here on the Avalon Peninsula. And it's a fantastic place to play. Some of our city services are in the community, and they provide recreation facilities and programs for the youth within our city. And that's important to us because if you're going to have a lot of families who want to come and live in Mount Pearl and therefore maybe work in Mount Pearl and play in Mount Pearl, you've got to provide more than just garbage collection and snow clearing.
Yes, of course. But I hear you do have good snow clearing.
Yeah, we've got a very good reputation. This was a mild winter. But most winters we don't get off that easy. And, you know, the key is the well-trained staff that we have. As well as some of the equipment that we use in doing the snow clearing. We pride ourselves on using a fleet of loaders, which seem to work the best, you know, in a city of small streets, especially with a lot of cul-de-sacs. The loaders can get around, unlike sometimes when people use dump trucks and plows. They can't quite get the job done. But people don't realize we don't just hire the snowplow operators when the snow comes. We have them on during the winter, and they operate in 2 shifts. So the night shift starts at midnight and finishes at 8 a.m. And then the other shift comes on, the day shift, at 8 a.m. and finishes up around 4 in the afternoon. So there is no full-time complement of snow clear operators from 4 o'clock in the afternoon until 12 midnight. But if we have to, we can authorize the employees to work a little bit of overtime as a way of bridging the gap, depending on the circumstances and, you know, the amount of snow we've got. But it's very challenging to do snow clearing between 4 o'clock in the afternoon and midnight because you've got a lot of traffic moving around. People coming and going to work, doing shopping, just getting around the city. Usually from 4 in the morning until 4 the next day. That's midnight until 4 o'clock the next day. That's the easiest for the equipment to be getting out and clearing the snow here in the city.
Well, that's some great information on snow clearing.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah.
Now, if you weren't involved in politics, what do you think you would be doing today?
Well, if I wasn't involved in politics, well, I'm retired. I'm a CPA, which is a chartered professional accountant. I did retire from my work after 36 years. If I wasn't working today, I would say I might be on the golf course. That would be a nice thing to do. And a lot of people don't realize, many politicians have private lives, but in my case, in my private life, I do a lot of running. So typically every day I run 5K, and then I'll go for a swim, usually around 600 meters. And quite often you'll see me at the Summit Center in Mount Pearl for an hour or so in the morning working out. So, Gary, would you like to join me someday?
Well, I think I might have to. It sounds like a great plan.
Indeed. I'd love to see you in your swim trunks, and
Yes.
we'll have to get you a special bathing cap, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now we're going to play a little game we like to play with all of our guests called Get to Know Me. So I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and you'll come back with the first thing that pops into your head.
Okay, I'm ready.
Okay. Your favorite food?
That would be pizza.
Your favorite movie?
Oh, that would be, let me see. The first thing comes to mind, Braveheart.
Your favorite song to sing aloud when you're alone in the car?
Would be something from Elton John.
And your favorite place to visit in Mount Pearl?
Oh, my favorite place to visit is City Hall here, where I see a lot of our residents and get to work with all the employees we have here at the City of Mount Pearl. And City Hall's in the center of the city, and I really enjoy my time here.
Well, that's great. And finally, what's your favorite thing about being the mayor?
My favorite thing is a bit like I just said. It's meeting all the people, helping them when they have issues and problems, and working with my colleagues on council, because, it's not just the mayor that runs the city, it's the entire council. So I represent the office of mayor, but we have 6 other members of council, and together we work to help the citizens of Mount Pearl and provide the services that we all know that our residents expect.
That's great. No,
Thanks very much
yes,
for having.
thanks for having me.
Thanks
in.
for having us in the interview. Thank you. Yeah, you're the best.
We'll be right back after this with more NL Now. Welcome back to the show. I'm here now with Baccalieu. How are you guys doing this evening?
Oh, we're doing great. Doing wonderful.
Doing good. Well, first of all, I want to thank you all for coming in today.
No problem. Thank you. Thank you for having us.
Yes, thanks for coming in. So, first of all, I wanted to mention that earlier in the show, we showed the segment of where I took a little trip out to the town of Dildo around the bay there. And now, I know when Dildo was in the news a little while back, you guys performed out there, and you actually got to perform for Guillermo from Jimmy Kimmel's show. How was that whole experience?
That was a great experience. It was indeed. Yeah.
Yes, it looked
An
pretty
experience of a
exciting.
lifetime for sure. Yeah,
Yes.
something that we won't forget.
Do you have a favorite thing about performing in front of a live audience?
Favorite thing in front of a live audience is, I guess, looking at, once we're done, shanties, songs, getting to know the feelings, the emotions that come from the crowd, knowing that, when you sing a good song, a good shanty, you get a lot of great attention, which is great for us. We love it. We love it.
Now here's a question we like to ask a lot of our musical guests on the show. If you guys could pick one musician, dead or alive, to collaborate with on a song, who would it be?
Well, I know myself, I'd probably pick, Ronnie Drew.
I say Stan Rogers. I'd say it was one.
It's a tough one.
Yeah.
Probably Tommy Makem.
There you go.
Okay, so guys, why don't you tell us about the song you're going to perform for us next?
All right, Adam, you want to take it away for that song?
Yeah, we're going to perform the song Old Woman from Wexford. And it's widely covered. I mean, it's got good attention on the folk scene. But this is our little rendition of it. It's a little bit different than watching radio play right now.
Okay, well, thank you folks for watching NL Now this evening. I hope you enjoyed our show. So, yeah, why don't you guys close out the show? Please welcome Baccalieu.
Thank you.
Oh, there was an old rises in the morning and the sun shines in her eyes. Beautiful and young, her love has no disguise. The summer when we met and she asked me to stay the night. Now I didn't refuse, that would be impolite. Oh, you and I are past the passage of time, and love is in our hearts. Love is in all our hearts. Love is in our hearts. Now I see her from afar and her worries drop out of sight. And living without her makes pettiness seem my life. And if I could go back, I'd surely make things right. It might just save me this cold and lonely night. Oh, you and I are past the passage of time, and love is in our hearts. Love is in all our hearts. Love is in our hearts. Oh, you and I are past the passage of time. It stops when we find we've nothing left to hide. When my days are at an end, I won't forget you. I'll search the sky and I promise that I'll find you. Oh, and love is in our hearts. Love is in all our hearts. Oh, love is in our hearts. Love is in all our hearts. Oh, love is in our hearts. Love is in all our hearts.
Thank you all so much for tuning into the show this evening. I hope you've enjoyed it. Now, what was it Gary asked me to say? Oh, yeah. He asked me to thank all of our friends at Escape Quest and NL Classifieds for all their help with this season. Also, Gary wanted me to mention that he's getting a new suit made for next week's show. Yeah, sounds pretty exciting, doesn't it? He's gonna look all stylish in his fall colors. Well, yeah, thank you all for tuning in tonight, and don't forget to come back next week, Sunday at 6:30, for an all-new episode of NL Now. We'll have some great guests, music, magic, and madness. See you later.